Hello, hello. I'm back. I want to tell you about my first foray into the world of Claude Skills. So, Claude Skills is a pretty new feature. There's been a lot of buzz about it lately. Have you played with it at all yet, Jason?
No, I haven't. Yeah, just kind of hot off the press. Skills just came out last week or earlier this week, over the weekend or
Yeah.
something. And yeah, I haven't had a chance to get in there yet. So really excited to see what you found out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited too. I was like a little daunted at first because now there's just so much stuff to choose from. I kind of felt like I didn't understand what a skill actually was as compared to
Hmm.
a sub agent or a slash command. But I had a use case that ended up being perfect. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So
Nice.
I've been working on this project where I needed to write and test a bunch of different detection rules for Cloud SIEM. We're doing like some cybersecurity threat detection stuff in the cloud, and it's all based on rules that you write. And basically, like what I learned as I was trying to understand, like I was trying to understand what's the best way to really teach Claude how to understand and write Cloud SIM rules correctly. Because sometimes it's easy, but sometimes you can, I mean, like it's very powerful. You can build out really complex Cloud SIM rules with very powerful queries and that kind of thing. So out of the box, Claude like did pretty good with writing Cloud SIM rules. Like I'll say maybe like 6 or 7 out of 10, especially if it's something simpler. But as we got into things like more complicated, um, Claude wasn't so good at it yet. So I was trying to problem solve that. And I was thinking about like, okay, I have some of these different agents that are working with my detection rules. So I could give more instructions to the agents, or I could like do more validating slash commands. But as I learned more about skills, I was kind of like light bulb moment, because this is exactly the kind of thing that skills are really useful for. They're just like bundled, packaged knowledge for Claude to use. And when you have these skills in your project, all your different agents, all your different slash commands can use them, and you don't have to tell Claude to use it. Claude just understands contextually. Okay, like users asking me to do something for Cloud SIM rules. Let me use my AWS Cloud SIM skills. So this is the one I've primarily used. This skill is about teaching Claude how to write Cloud SIM rules, especially for specifically for CloudTrail events, and like do detection on AWS CloudTrail logs. So this is the SKILL.md file, and this is the I guess main like orchestrator, the central thing of the skill. It tells it like this description helps Claude understand what this skill is used for, and when would be most appropriate to use it. And then I've done a bunch of reading about like best practices and tips from Anthropic about these. And it's kind of funny because actually Anthropic really tells you like it was like put as little as possible in your skill.md file, like keep them short, keep them sweet, assume that Claude is smart and knows what it's doing, and just really tell it like the niche stuff. So I've tried to follow that approach. And then along with your skill.md file, you can package all this other stuff. So like here's this knowledge about CloudTrail attributes that are going to be really helpful for writing detection rules for CloudTrail logs. And here's a few examples of what our detection rules look like. And I actually built these entire packages because you can see like I have one for Azure and one for GCP as well. I built these entire packages by querying the Datadog API to pull all of our out of the box AWS Cloud SIEM rules, for example, and have Claude like analyze them and understand the patterns and get the best examples. And that's how I built these packages. But anyway, so this is what I've been using. I definitely like I saw a huge improvement in Claude's ability to write actual functioning and complex rules out of the box. And the other thing that's really cool that I want to make sure to highlight is these skills are super token efficient. I'm very, like Jason, you and I have talked about before, I'm very obsessed with context engineering in Claude and maintaining a lean context. And as compared to like your sub agents, which are very useful in a project, but take up more context, these skills are super efficient because what happens is when Claude runs, only this front matter part is loaded every time. So from my skills directory, when Claude starts, it loads lines 1 through 4 here, and it will do that for my Azure skill. It will load just this part. Same for GCP, obviously, like it will load just this part. So you can see that's super short and sweet. And then it only loads the rest of the package when it figures out contextually that it should use that skill. So like, here's an example of that in my terminal right now. So let's see, like here, So what I did was I asked Claude to help me customize this detection rule using my / command, and it went through a few steps, and it was using my detection rule writer agent, and I guess it decided it felt confident there. It didn't need the skill yet, but once it got to the detection rule validator agent, it decided, okay, like now I'm ready to use my special skill, and it asked me, can I start using the writing AWS Cloud SIEM rules? And you can obviously like allow list your skills, and that's probably like what I most typically do. But I know for sure it's using it because the output has been really good, and you'll see this right here, like the first time the skill is used.
Do you find that skills are transferring some sort of mental load or effort from one place to another? Like you used to put a lot of effort into like doing this thing, and now skills has like changed that. Is there something like, what's the thing that you're not having to put as much mental, like effort into because of that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, good question. Well, first of all, is like, yeah, that's the huge thing about them is everything in your project can share them, right? So like instead of okay, like I need to help my detection rule tester understand how to test these better. I need to help my detection rule validator understand the validation patterns better. And I maybe like in the old pre-skills time 2 weeks ago, I maybe would have, had to add like a bunch of instructions to my subagent files, and each of these different subagents I would be having to give just the instructions on how these detection rules work. Now, all these subagents, everything in the whole project can just share the skill. So like it's saving the token, but it's saving the tokens, but it's also saving that load of maintaining your subagents, right? And like maintaining your subagent instructions and understanding what they're doing. The shorter all the rest of that stuff can be, this makes it a lot easier for managing the project.
Yeah, I can see how this really cuts down on, I don't know, like just a lot of the previous. You know what? One of the things that's just fascinating about all these tools and just different ways is it always feels like it's some sort of hack, like a simple hack that somebody's come up with to like save on context tokens, or like we open a door and then we got a new challenge, and then suddenly there's people talking about, hey, let's do it this way, and skills is that latest thing, and it seems so simple. And it's always like marked down in front matter that's solving the problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun to see it all unfold. And this is a perfect example, I think, of how to use it, where to use it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I was kind of like daunted to dip my toes in it because like you say, it's kind of, I don't want to be using the wrong thing for the wrong job. But really like what helped me understand, okay, this is a skills use case. And like I said, I read a lot of like the Anthropic docs and like some blogs that have already come out and everything. It's like that specialized niche knowledge is one part of it that like is useful to use a skill to teach Claude, and it's that reusability piece. And those two things, I think, like really pointed me in the direction of, okay, like it's time to learn how to make skills.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great, cool. Well, appreciate you showing that to us.
Awesome.
So
yeah, I'm sure I'll be back with something new soon.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks.
Bye.